Hello everyone, I'm Tushar, first year student of the Indian Institute of Management Tiruchirappalli of the batch of 2019-2021. So I will be talking about the Indian economy and policy. So first of all, I will start with the four phases of Indian economy. So first phase was spread across almost 14 years. So it started from year of 1951 and it ended around year of 1969. So the in between those years, the average growth rate was around 4.1%. But before that period, the growth rate was very low. So actually, it was boost for the Indian economy. So along with that, so if we talk about like industry sector in the phase one, so the growth rate across the across the phase one of Indian economy was in between 5.9 to 10.9%. So actually, it was pretty good with respect to our growth rate. We had to focus on the heavy industries like marine, railways, and trains and guns. And along with that, so as per the Bhagwati and Desai report, it was the liberal trade policy regime as well. And also it was a mix of the open forage direct investment regime and the industrial policy regime as well. And along with that, if we talk about the particularly phase one, so also the agricultural sector was in boom. So over there, the growth rate of agricultural sector was around 15.1%. The overall budget allocation in the first 5-year plan in the phase one was around 15.1% in the phase one. And apart from the 2 years in all those 14 years of the phase one, there was the constantly improvement in the agricultural sector output and area under the cultivation as well. So actually it was a pretty good start for the Indian economy, but all the problems started in the phase 2 somewhat. The phase 1 was mostly under Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. And so talking about the phase 2, so the phase 2 is spread across almost 16 years. So it started in the year of 1965 and ended around 81. So and also the GDP growth rate in the phase 2 fell down to 3.2% when earlier in phase 1 it was around 4.1%. And as Jawaharlal Nehru was an important person in the phase 1, so as the Indira Gandhi was an important person in the phase 2. So if we see, so out of those 16 years, the growth rate of Indian economy in the first 10 years, like year 1965 to 75, so it was just near 2.6%. But in the year of 1976, it spiked to 9.4%, which was pretty high. And actually, after summing up, the average growth rate actually got improved. And but after that, because of the emergency, the economic failure was there, along with the different political pressure as well. So as we know that the liberalization openly started in 1991, but in this phase 2 also, in the starting of the phase 2, in the year of 1965 to 67, it was actually the failed attempt for that. And the main attraction of this phase 2 was the nationalization of banks and of insurance as well. So, and along with that, the saving and investment percent in the GDP has also improved in very good proportion. So earlier, when in the early 60s, when the savings and investment rate was around 12 to 13%. So in the mid of 70s it went up to 18%, and in the late 70s it went up to 22%. So actually the saving and investment rate was actually very important for that. So now also if we see that the saving and investment percent in the GDP of China is also actually more than 40. So actually it stabilizes the economy. So talking about the phase 3, so just like the phase 1, Jawaharlal Nehru was there, and also in the phase 2 Indira Gandhi was there. So in the phase 3 Rajiv Gandhi also was the main attraction of that. So the phase 3 started in the year of 81, and it was for almost 8 years till 88. The growth rate increased to 4.8% from year 3.2% in the phase 2. But actually the main drawback of 1960s and 70s is that when the countries like Republic of Korea was growing with the growth rate of 8 to 10%, we were actually struggling to achieve 4% or 5%. So actually the growth of the economy somewhat stagnated over there. It steadily it got improved, where everybody in the world was hoping to get it improved exponentially, but it didn't. And in the year of 1991, the liberalization, privatization, globalization was happening in India, but along with but the implications of the LPG started in the early 80s only, and also in the phase 3 the trade liberalization was an attraction in the phase 3. So now if we come to the last phase, that is phase 4, so it started in the year of 1988, and it went and it lasted in the year of 2006. So the growth rate was drastically improved from 4.8 to 6.3. So actually in the phase 4, the main year were also from the year of 2003 to 2006, because in those because actually in the phase 4 the import and export both actually improved very well, and the properly export focus industries also made, the industry which are 100% focused on the exports, that were also made and established. And the LPG was actually is in full force, and but the main issue of the phase 4 was the balance of payment. But on the other hand, the trade also improved. So if we see when the average growth rate of the phase 4 is 6.3, but it is only 4% till the year of 93. From the 93 to 97 it is just 7.1%. From 97 to 2003 it was 5.2%, but from 2003 to 2007 it went up to 8.6%. So actually in the year of 2003 to 2006 the real GDP improved by 13.8% in that period, and also the services export doubled from $26 billion to $52 billion. And along with that, the small things like the sale of passenger vehicle also improved. And now also if we see that some people are talking about have we really entered into phase 5, but there is not any fixed opinion on that, but there is so much to learn from the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4, because each phase has its pros and cons. So now this is all about my IEP submission. Thank you.